My name's Haylie Nicole. I am from Holland, Michigan, and I'm 23 years old.
What inspires you?
I think what inspires me the most is traveling and engulfing myself in just like other communities, different groups of people, different cultures. I feel like whenever I get a chance to travel, I come home feeling 10 times more inspired. It's just a nice reminder of being capable of things, being capable of putting yourself out there, putting yourself in an uncomfortable situation and figuring stuff out. And then from there, just like connecting with other people and hearing their stories and, kind of taking them with a grain of salt and, learning lessons from other people and kind of turning them into something that's my own. And yeah.
What motivates you?
I have found, just the beginning of like my creative journey, I wasn't surrounded by any other creatives really. I was just me, myself and I, and although it was a lot of fun, unfortunately I'm not one of those super self-motivated people. I have that voice in the back of my head that is always telling me like, you don't really have to do that. And unfortunately, majority of my life I've kind of leaned more towards that voice in my head. So being in a creative community where you have other people to inspire you and to support you and to kind of remind you that you got it has been super motivating for me. It's also that thing of like seeing other people put their passions, and turning them into something good and seeing something, visible and tangible. I think it's a nice reminder that you can do it. And I always have that thing of like, well, shit, if they're doing something, I could probably do it too. So I found that having a creative community is super, super important. And just people to back you up and support you and give you good advice and good critiques, everything like that, I think puts me in a position personally to have a lot more growth and to, kind of get the ball rolling on things that I want to do.
What do you love most about yourself?
I really appreciate my sense of understanding. I think that when it comes to different situations and different people's stories and everything, I try my best to kind of take a step back and understand it from, as many different viewpoints as I can. And I think that that's a thing that isn't, super common nowadays. I feel like people get super stuck in their own ways and their own ways of thinking. And I think that if you're able to break that down and kind of take a step back and, self-analyze and understand that it's not really just you out there. So I think that, my sense of understanding has definitely been beneficial to me to, make connections with people that maybe I wouldn't have otherwise if I was stuck in my own way of thinking all the time. That kind of thing. Yeah.
What do you love most about life?
I would say making connections with people. I think that doing things for yourself is awesome and great and it's super important, but at the same time I think that we're all kind of put here to make connections with other people, to be vulnerable, and I know it's a hard thing for a lot of people. It can put you in a very scary spot, especially if you've been hurt before. But I think ultimately being able to be vulnerable with someone and connect with them on a deeper level that's not so surface level is super important. And I think that for me, that's like the most important thing in life is to, hear people's stories and hear what people are passionate about and just make connections in whatever regards that means. I think that having friendships and having good coworker relationships and having good loving relationships, family relationships, all those kinds of connections I think is like most important in life. I think that's kind of what we're here for.
What does choosing happy mean to you?
So with all of the talk of, having connections with other people and, not holding on to everything for myself, that kind of thing, it's funny because I think that choosing happy for me does mean putting myself first. So that means, taking care of myself first and, reminding myself that, maybe I need to have a lazy day and it doesn't really feel good. It doesn't, I can sit around and feel guilty for just having a lazy day, having a day to myself of not doing anything. But ultimately, you need to kind of listen to yourself. In regards to that, I think that listening to your body, listening to your mind to kind of sit back and recharge. In turn is kind of choosing happiness, because then, you can kind of work through whatever might be holding you back, any kind of self-doubt that you're working with, anything like that. It can put you in a very negative headspace, and I think that once you get in that negative headspace, it can perpetuate into all different aspects of your life. And so yeah, choosing happiness means putting myself first, whether it's like self-care, whether it's self-reflecting. I try to be as self-aware as possible, so just taking a step back and realizing my interactions with people and how they might affect them, and all those kinds of things I think are really important to kind of take a step back on. And yeah, just being more aware. And then I think that once you can kind of figure out what makes you happy, what motivates you, what inspires you, all those different things. Yeah, so I think taking care of yourself, self-reflecting, being self-aware, to me is choosing happiness, because at the end of the day, sometimes all you have is yourself, and if you're not happy with that person at the end of the day, then you don't really have much, unfortunately.